Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Envy. My name is Eric, and I am not even going to do a regular intro because I think you guys already know what this is about. This is episode 31. We've made it to a 3+1, and we're just going to go straight into this. So, guys, let's talk about now playing. I'm not even giving you a chance. Let's just go.
No, man, 3 + 1 is 4.
2. Quick maths. I'm off. Yeah, so my math sucks. It's late at night. Joey, tell us about what you've been playing, please.
I will. I'm at the beach, so I'm pretending that I'm a huge fan of the Switch right now. And
you're pretending?
Totally
you didn't see the Instagram pic?
Traveler.
You love it, Joey. You love it.
I've got like 35 hours into Octopath now. The game is still okay. There's aspects of it that are like really good, and then there's parts of it that are just like kind of like just normal. Like it's just kind of it feels like a normal, really well done JRPG. My only complaint is that the enemies are like super evil, like super straightforward, bad. There's no like nuance to them at all. And the combat does get a little dry and predictable at some point. Are you guys still there?
No, we still are. Just
sorry, we were just letting you get it all out.
Yeah, didn't know if that was the end of it. If it was that enticing.
I've played like an hour of it, and
I was waiting for.
Don't find myself thinking about it.
There's no like overarching story. You have to be invested in like some subset of these 8 people's little sagas, and some of the sagas are really good. Like the scholar has a really good dark, like detective saga, and then some of the sagas are like just kind of meh. Like the merchant has like she really likes buying things saga. So I mean, I don't know. It's hard to really pick it up and want to like get through the story. It more feels like I'm going through everyone's chapters for a completionist purpose. I can see how it would grab some people.
I was almost going to say this is what I was talking about last time when you were trying to sell me the game and how there was no story, but it was kind of all gameplay.
Yeah.
So pretty much you're agreeing with my point, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't make me want to keep playing it.
I've done 4 chapter 2s now of the 8 characters, and I like the characters I have in my party. I'm not that keen to like go level up the other 3 characters to try to like go do their chapter 2s. So,
all right.
I mean, yeah. If you
so
guys
Joey
want, like,
loves
good
Octopath
RPG,
Traveler.
Yeah, screams enthusiasm over here.
It's his favorite game.
I don't want to say there's clearly a bunch of people that like it because I mean this thing's already sold 1 million copies, so it's enjoyed. And what do you guys think? What do you guys think is the difference between like this game getting so much steam versus like any other JRPG, even including Xenoblade? Like, has Xenoblade sold 1 million copies yet?
I think nostalgia factor.
No, Xenoblade's like super niche though.
Like,
well, he's right.
I mean, was Bravely Default?
Yeah, but like this game looks like an SNES RPG, and everyone remembers that.
That's what I said. It's nostalgia factor. Plus, from everything you described, it reminds me of like a Final Fantasy 1-esque type game.
Yeah, like someone who picked up Final Fantasy 6 or 3, whatever you want to call it, back in the day and played it, and now sees this and they have a Switch. They're like, oh, I'll get that, even if they're not a fan of RPGs now. Whereas like someone sees Xenoblade and they're like, what is this weird weeb stuff?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you got to know what you're getting into.
We know Joey's like for Octopath is not fully up there, but Matt, what have you been playing?
Well, the Gundam Super Robot bug has bit me, so I've been building Gunpla and watching a couple different series of Gundam, and so I started playing Super Robot Wars A Portable, which was originally a GBA game, and then it got an enhanced port on PSP, and then some fan translators translated it, so I've been playing that. It's pretty fun.
I still haven't touched the last Super Robot, or I can't remember which Gundam game you sent to me for the PSP that had a fan translation. Just too many. They're too long.
Yeah, they're super long. So this one, the one I sent you has its own characters and its own robots and everything. It's like an OG game. This one is just like a compilation of every Super Robot in every anime. So like, I've already met like Amuro from Gundam and some other characters. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's kind of fun just when I'm like sitting around, need something quick to do, and I can just knock out some strategy and use some crazy super moves.
Well, and aside from the gaming of the robot games, you've been building a couple robots, right? I think we've been posting pictures on the Instagram. All of us at some point now have built a robot.
Yeah, I built a couple. Well, I built a, what is it? The gawk from that Char drives underwater or flies underwater or swims underwater. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, it's I think it's swim, but you had said that's the one you built last time we talked.
Oh yeah, so since then I built one from Iron-Blooded Orphans that I'm not really familiar with the name of it because I haven't gotten to season 2. It's from season 2. And then I built a Barbatos, a 1/100 Barbatos. So that's like basically the MG, I guess, of that series.
Nice.
And I'm never going back. The MG is so fun to build.
I think because of all your building, I've felt empowered and finished my gun cannon that I built like 3 months ago halfway, and I finished them yesterday or the day before.
Nice. It's so satisfying when you finish them.
What about you, Joey? Have you picked up any of the Gundams to build, put together?
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I did pick up 2 Iron-Blooded Orphan kits, and I brought them with me to the beach, and I might put one together because there's a lot of time still ahead.
You should put one together.
I'm a little slower, so I gotta make sure I'm committed and I'll be able to finish by the time we leave.
Both your kits are HG kits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to finish them.
Yeah, you could do those in probably half a day or less, depending on how fast you go through it.
Like the HG kit.
Yeah, I'll probably spend like 2 or 3 days on it.
Yeah. I've put models together before, but not these types. I did one Gundam like in high school. But I think the HG took me like 2 hours to build the whole thing. And then the Barbatos that I built took like 6 hours because it had so many little parts.
I was surprised with all the pictures, like the updates we were getting every hour. I was like, God damn.
Well, my wife kind of like, she took out my daughter for the weekend, and so I kind of like was home alone, and I was like, maybe I'll play some video games. And then I started building Barbatos, and then I just didn't stop until I finished it.
Yeah,
So
like
you
even
say
that
something?
tiny Gundam you sent me, like I spent like 3 days on it, just like not hour wise, but just like, I did like an hour here, hour there. So I don't know, I'm slow.
All right. Well, for me, I haven't really played much of anything. I don't know. I kind of hit the, I guess I could call the game wall. There was nothing more I wanted to play, so I just picked up my 3DS and played Etrian Odyssey Untold. I forgot how far into that game I am. I'm like the 4th stratum.
The cool thing with that game is you can pick it up anytime because it's just like, I just continue mapping.
Yeah, that's what it is. For me, it was relaxing. Well, what the thing is with Untold, it's the one that actually has the story built into it. At least with what 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are the ones that don't have a really lower story or kind of less of a story compared to Untold.
Right.
And I'm not a fan of create your own character and create your own story. I'm like, I want a story there. But yeah, so I went back into it and just pretty much did exactly what you said. Go back to drawing some more maps, and I'm like, oh, this is relaxing.
Yeah, mapping is so fun.
But I think that covers our now playing, at least, our now doing, or whatever we want to call that. But this next topic run is going to be a good conversation point for you and Matt, since you guys both had a exciting weekend last weekend. The Raleigh Supercon. So this Comic Con is held in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm gonna hand the reins over to you two.
Joey, I'll let you start.
No, I'll let you start.
Okay. I just didn't want to talk over you.
You lived here. You
Now.
lived here first.
So Raleigh Supercon is, I think we kind of talked about it on the last podcast. I'm not sure if we did.
I don't think we did.
Well, anyways, it's basically I think about 35,000 people went this year. It is a combination of all sorts of conventions. So there was WWE, sci-fi, fantasy, anime, video games, board games, movies. It was kind of like a mishmash of everything. So like everything that you could ever like in terms of nerd culture was pretty much there. Joey and I went for the day. One thing that stood out to me was this is the first convention I've ever been to that didn't like check if you were bringing drinks in to keep the alcohol out. Instead, they just like sold beer and liquor on the floor as you were walking around.
Oh, nice.
And
they don't even do that at Comic-Con.
I know. That made it like great. So, I mean, it would have been great anyways, but it was cool to be able to just like order a craft beer and walk around with it. So, Joey and I met a few celebrities.
Nice. Who do we meet?
Well, I met Michael Dorn, who, if you don't know, plays Worf in Star Trek. So that was very cool, and he was right next to William Shatner's table, so we kind of saw him from afar, but I didn't meet William Shatner personally. I got like a picture signed by him and everything. And then Joey met someone as well.
Yep, I met
Joey.
Henry Winkler, who is awesome.
That was Happy Days, right?
Yep,
Yes.
the Fonz, and he's also in Arrested Development. And he's like in some really cheesy like Hallmark movies where, like, I don't know, no one knows those. Don't worry.
He's also in Parks and Recreation.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he's a side character, but he's in multiple episodes. He plays like Tom Haverford has these two crazy friends, and he plays their like doctor dad. So he's like the doctor.
Oh, did not know that. But yeah, he's a really cool dude. He like came out, shook everyone's hand. Matt got a free handshake, didn't have to pay any money. We saw the dudes from Karate Kid.
Right.
It was cool to
Wait,
see them from afar.
The YouTube Red series, or the like? I guess it's the original, or both, because
same dudes.
It's the same actors.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's the same actors that came back.
Yeah, so they were there.
Yep, and then we saw.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we saw. Do you know Married with Children, the show?
Of course.
So like Amanda Bierce was there. She's like the neighbor from like across the street or whatever. She's really old now. I don't know if you remember any of this at all.
I don't remember any neighbors.
She's
side
in,
characters barely stood out.
Yeah, she's in like
Lou
other things. I just didn't know them.
I honestly didn't know who she was. Lou Ferrigno was there.
Yeah, he's almost at like every con though.
I think like there were some WWE people there too. I think like what's her name, like Trish Stratus or something was there. And then the guy Kane
Yeah.
was there. Yeah, and some other people. I
Yeah,
don't
there
know
was-
much about WWE.
All right, so given that
There was a ton
you know,
of. I was just gonna say, there's a ton of wrestling people there, and we didn't know we knew like probably 10% of them.
well, yeah, I mean, I stopped watching WWE or WWF after the name change, right? Out of 2004.
I never even watched it. I just know it from like going to school and people had like trading cards and stuff.
No,
Back in middle school.
I could say I watched it. I knew the storylines and the plots. But so what I was going to say was, given that the Comic Cons are usually a great shopping experience at the same time, did you guys pick up anything in particular that was a con exclusive or just special that you like, I had to have this? Did you hit up like Artist Alley, speak to anyone over there?
So they had a lot of comic book artists in the Artist Alley. So we went through the Artist Alley. I'm not really too big on buying fan art from people. But the guy who does the covers for Buffy comics and Firefly, or I don't know, do they call it Firefly or Serenity in the comics? I don't know. But
I think it's Firefly.
Yeah, George Gianti, he does a lot of the covers for him, and Joey had met him before actually, and he was mentioning that he was there, and I got a poster of like one of the Buffy comics signed by him. So I have that on my wall now with my Worf signature. So.
And I'm sorry, I'm wrong. It's actually Serenity. They do call it Serenity.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they it went Firefly, then Serenity the movie, and then the comic picked up after the movie.
Joey, did you pick up anything?
I think Matt came ahead on all the loot this con. He I don't know, he found like all the right stuff for him. I got a few things, but I don't think anything that was like necessarily con exclusive. I picked up like a little kit to build like a bust of Hatsune Miku, and then I got one like pretty cheap Gundam kit, and I got something for Belle. I got like some wooden card holders. There's like some cool like, how there's like random booths, like they had like some like wood dude. Like, how would you explain like what he does?
Oh yeah, so
Matt?
he basically used, I think, a laser cutter to like cut these wooden items.
Yeah, they're just like
So-
wooden things.
Yeah, I got two pairs of. My wife really likes Tetris, so I got two pairs of like Tetramino earrings that he had made for her.
Yeah, those were cool.
What else did we get?
We got. I don't know. We spend a lot of time like walking around, thinking of things to buy.
Yeah, the spectacle is like what I'm there for. I just like to walk around and look at everything. Oh, I got the 2 expansions for the Boss Monster card game, which I highly recommend. They have the first one at Target, so it's an easy pickup. But it's a really fun game that we've pretty much been playing that every other day since I picked it up. So
What I was going to say was that a lot of the times with the cons, and I know you guys sent me pictures of things we were talking about buying, is that the pricing seems a bit more, and I guess that's because it's the con pickup and it's in your hand experience versus ordering online and waiting. Did you guys find like the pricing to be, adequate, or?
to be honest, I feel like this con was so large and there were so many options that like some stuff was really overpriced, but if you like looked, you could find like a decent price thing. Like most stuff these days you're going to be able to pick up on Amazon for the same price, especially if it's like a book or a movie or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So that stuff, it's kind of cool to buy because it's there and you can just like grab it instead of like going online and purchasing it. But I felt like everything was probably within like $5 to $10 of what it would be on the internet for the most part.
I mean, for me, it's
Yeah.
Artist Alley is why I go to Comic Cons. It's because a lot of the things like you mentioned, whether it's a Gundam kit, a video game, a book, or even like a movie or something, you can get those online or even at shops that these people have online. But the Artist Alley is where a lot of that kind of art that's done in the moment or unique pieces that stand out from either the people that do covers or even the line work in comic books. That's my whole point for a lot of like Comic Cons.
Right. And
do you buy and display like the art that you buy there?
I actually have a ton of art that I have not displayed because
his wife doesn't let him.
Two parts. That's one. When okay, I'm stuttering here. The last Comic Con I went to was New York City Comic Con in 2016, probably a year after my daughter was born. I haven't been to the last two, just because like life in general. But we also had moved apartments shortly after she was born, so everything has been kind of kept and packaged up. I found a lot of it recently while going through our closet and kind of unpacking some of the last boxes that we just never got to. But it's just that we don't have, I mean, I guess I don't have the space. I could take it to work and put it in like my office, but that seems kind of out of place for me. But no, I don't have a lot of that stuff up.
Yeah, you know, I thought about displaying my little SD Gundam that you gave me at my office, but I don't know if I can do it.
I have some anime figures, don't get me wrong. Like at work on my desk, I have a few things that I want and I have up. Like I have a Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, the Figma, the small one, and I have a few other like actual figures, but anything major that stands out, like I got a poster on the wall, I'm like, no thanks.
Joey's got like a Super Sonico figure on his desk at work.
Yeah, because my desk at work is just my kitchen. Was it one thing I noticed about the con is that it was kind of light on video games, like in terms of sellers. Like there was one table with some retro games, and that was pretty much it.
I honestly think that used video games are a dead market.
I would disagree. I mean, New York City Comic Con had, and again, maybe I'm just speaking from the experience of being up here, but there's always a good amount of tables that have used games. You have Video Games New York, 8-Bit and Up, kind of like a local shop. I mean, both shops are local. And then you have other smaller, not as big stores that set up used games.
I've just noticed over the years at conventions I go to, I remember there used to be like every other booth was like a video game booth. And now it's like there might be like one or two, but I feel like it's getting thinner out there because people can like emulate everything now.
Well, that too, and a lot of the I guess a lot of the game shops that are up in these Comic Cons are like super import friendly,
Right.
but they price tag it higher.
Right, and like these days, like the internet brings everything together. Like we can order pretty much anything from Japan for a fairly reasonable price. Like sometimes you pay a little bit extra, but like I got Super Robot Wars OG for PS4 for like $40 shipped with Prime shipping on Amazon.
I was sending you guys the text about Gundam Breaker 3 on PS Vita. I think a shop here in the city had it for like $75 for the Asian English version, and online it was $49.99 plus like $7 shipping.
Yeah, it's like it's hard to compete with that type of stuff if you're a brick and mortar store, especially because
it is, and
like it's not like there's a convention every weekend, so they would have to actually travel to probably keep that up, and then like how much of that, like how much of a crowd can they draw at a local shop?
Especially in New York, at least I feel for me.
New York, I feel like it would be easier. Although the rent's higher, so maybe not.
Well, that's my argument. That yes, you may have a more dedicated base of people that are looking for games and don't want to wait. But when you take in consideration the location of the shops, most of which are in the Lower East Side, and then how much rent is, you know, how much are you making per game, really?
Right.
Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion for another time. But I would say if we could throw in a lightning round for pretty much a 1-minute recommendation for a comic book each. Joey, you haven't been speaking much. I'm just going to throw you into the fire. Give me your recommendation for a comic book.
Throw me in, Chief.
Well, not me, but we're gonna give it for the people listening.
Right. Okay. Well, you're like the comic book dude, so I'm gonna see if you've read this at all, and if you haven't, I'll recommend it to you. But I tried out. I recently got a Kindle Fire tablet, so I'm trying out Comixology Unlimited for like a month for free, and I'm gonna see if I like it. So far, it's not too bad. But I started reading the Conan. What do you call it? Like the anthology. So it's supposed to like have a collection of trade paperbacks. So it has a good amount of Conan comics on it. It kind of covers. I've been kind of enjoying the Conan video game, like survival video game that's out there.
Was it Conan
so I wanted a
Exiles
little
or something?
more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the video.
So I wanted a little more like. Yeah. So I wanted a little more backstory on the Conan mythology or whatever. So it was like available via Comixology Unlimited to download. So I got that, and I've read through almost the whole first volume, and it's pretty good. It's cool. It's got good art, good artists in it too.
Cool. I actually haven't read the Conan comic book series. I don't even know who the publisher is. Is it IDW?
I'd have to check. It sounds like something IDW would do, but I'll double check.
I'll tell you right now. Quick fingers on the Google. Says Conan comic books are. It's not coming up. Of course not.
No,
I need it right away.
I can't even find my tablet right now. Hopefully, I'm not sitting on it.
Dark Horse was
You're sitting on it.
It's Dark Horse, 2003 to 2018.
Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, check those out.
All right, Matt, go.
Well, I honestly haven't read a ton of comics recently, but the most recent comic I read was Battle Chasers to get myself ready for playing the Battle Chasers RPG that came out on Switch, and it was actually pretty good. I was pretty intrigued. That guy is a good artist for sure. It definitely was cut short. Like, it just ends, and you're like, what the heck? It's very, very short. But I think it's kind of cool that he continued it in a video game, so, or at least a story in the world with the characters. So, I think it's pretty unique too. I'm not really selling this too hard. I liked it, but it ended so soon. It was like a big tease.
No, I think that's a problem with a lot of comic book runs, is that they'll have, I guess, mediocre sales but great stories. So a lot of times the publishers will just, be like, all right, we're ending this run, and the writers have to wrap it up. So it looks like it's a story that's building up, and it just goes.
Right.
What does the game pick up like after it?
So there's a story, and it introduces all the characters, and it's like this girl's dad used to be a hero, and she gets his gauntlets, which gives her the power too. And then there's these people trying to get him, so they're like running. They're like on the run, and she collects these like other people who are like helping protect her and stuff. And it kind of ends like in the middle of that stuff happening, so you don't really know what's going on. And the game just starts with like that group of people on an airship flying, and it gets shot down, and they land on this island, and then they have to like figure out how to get home or something. That's about as far as I got. So it's like not super compelling. Like the art and the characters and everything are what make it. So
Cool.
the story itself wasn't exactly groundbreaking or anything.
All right, so for me, it's kind of it's not really a full comic book, although it's had individual issues, and it's more usually sold in a graphic novel binding set, but it's Mouse Guard. So if anyone knows me, I have a huge love for Mouse Guard, and Mouse Guard is what I would call a mix between Stuart Little and Lord of the Rings, or Stuart Little and Redwall, if you want to go further back.
Redwall.
Yeah. So it's about mice who have their own order, their own knights, and kind of different job things. It's great. The artwork is great. It's actually written and drawn by the same dude, David Peterson. It's also published by Archaea Entertainment. So it's been ongoing from 2006 to present, and it's usually in graphic novel form, but definitely something I'd recommend to pretty much anyone to pick up, from young readers even to adults.
So there's something about like this being mice centered that appeals to you more than any other fantasy graphic
Not so
novel?
much that it's mice centered, but it's the idea that the forest itself is a world of its own. Kind of mice fight everything from owls to snakes. They have their own order. They ride turtles and other creatures. You have the Black Guard, or the Black Axe, which is an internal storyline of a knight that went rogue and tries to overthrow.
I'm looking at this art right now. I'm glad they made them actually look like mice and they didn't try to humanize them.
Exactly. So there's.
I was like, are there going to be like mice with boobs? Like, that's not what I want to see.
No. So Mice Templar is kind of a super cartoony kind of. I mean, it's kind of like the same idea, but it's more cartoony and more comic book-esque, I guess you could say. And there's a few other ones, but the artwork that's done for Mouse Guard is super unique, I feel, and it's very.
This is like straight up Redwall.
Yeah, it gets a lot of comparisons to Redwall.
Which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I loved Redwall as a kid.
So that's my recommendation. But since we're on the topic of comic books and just kind of a quick shout out here to anyone listening, we've had, or at least I've had, a copy of The Watchmen, the graphic novel. If you've seen the movie that came out in the last 2011, 12. I have a copy that's sitting around that's brand new, and we actually want to do a giveaway to anyone who's listening. So at the end of this podcast, when it goes live, we're going to wait a little bit, post on the Instagram, and we'll announce on the next podcast who the winner is. And we will mail you a brand new copy of Watchmen, courtesy of Geek Envy.
And then we have your address.
Well, I mean, of course, they're going to have to... No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep sending him stuff. Probably like the only listener. He's gonna put in, and he's like, yeah, all right, same name. We're just going to keep sending you things.
So, like, someone
we're
in,
just
like...
going to keep sending you
like Russia
things we don't want.
And then you're going to have to spend like $100 to mail it to this person.
U.S. only.
Yeah. Disclaimer: U.S. only. We're not made of green, and this is a very low cost podcast.
Yeah, maybe
so
Canada if it's payday.
I think we could do Canada, although
I don't know. Like, your state basically borders Canada, so that'll be on Eric.
That's fine.
But
yes, if you're listening, if you've read Watchmen and you would like a free copy to give to someone else, just to get them interested in comic books, or at least an interesting storyline, listen to the podcast. Hit us up on Instagram when we post, and we'll get it out to you if you win. Woo. All right, retro roundup time. Last podcast we talked about having a retro game recommendation by each one of us, which we'd go back and play and try to get the others to play. I will start by saying I did not touch this game at all. I blame Joey on this, because Joey was like, yeah, we don't have to do it right away. We could play it in like a week, couple weeks, a month, as long as we get to it.
Hey, how about I was like, texted everyone and said, play the damn game.
I'm pretty sure Joey played his like today, because he was texting me about the game that he's playing earlier today.
Hey, we're not on me yet.
So I'm pretty sure he did last minute.
Yeah, he's the guy who's like doing his homework at like 11:59 for a test that takes place first thing in the morning, wondering why he has no time left to study.
At least I did it.
Yeah, that's why you probably get an F on the test. All right, tell us. Go. Chrono Trigger.
So Chrono Trigger is a game that exists. I was playing on my Raspberry Pi, and I started the fan game instead of the normal game, so then I had to restart after I realized that definitely
He was
didn't
playing a
look
ROM
right.
hack.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Harder difficulty,
so-
crazy storylines.
So I started the game, and Matt, how's Fire Emblem going?
Oh.
So hold on, Joey. Did you get past the fair?
So I did get some of the, that little fair game where you hit the hammer. Where
He
you
didn't
use
get past the
hammer.
fair. He didn't even go back in time.
I'm not past the fair yet. I don't even know where Luca. I don't know where Luca is. Like, where does she live? I'm like running around this town, looking for this inventor girl. Like, somebody tell me where she lives.
Just go to the fair. Go
But
all the
she
way
lives
up
at
to
the
the top of the
fair?
fair. Yeah, has her invention at the fair, and she's like gonna show it off.
Oh, that makes sense.
All the way north, just all the way north.
Okay. Well, I did go through some of the tutorials. Like, you go into some, like, the mayor's mansion, and you can do some tutorials. So that helped. I like how the combat system looks like it's going to be cool. Like, you can attack in a line, and you can hit, like, multiple enemies.
Did you do
so I'm looking
active or
forward
wait?
to it. I did wait, because I don't like... I like to be able to... I like real turn-based, where I can, like...
Yeah,
sit there
I
and
do
not
wait
do
as well.
anything.
I always do wait. I never do active.
active
for
like stresses me
turn-based.
out too much. I'm like,
Exactly.
I'm a pansy. Well, I
But
actually
yeah,
played
Fire
my game,
Emblem,
guys.
tell us.
Oh. Someone
Oh.
did their homework.
So I got through the first 8 chapters of Fire Emblem, which Blazing Sword, which, if you know, that is the first Game Boy Advanced game that came out in America for Fire Emblem, and actually the first Fire Emblem game that ever came out and was translated in America. So I would say this is probably, in terms of the old school Fire Emblem games, the most accessible Fire Emblem game. The newer ones are a little bit more accessible because you can turn off permadeath, but they're really anime tropey, so you got to kind of get past that, which I'm fine with, but some people don't like that. The older games aren't as tropey, and Fire Emblem Blazing Sword, the first 12 or so chapters are really just a tutorial. So it's like you're playing a full story with a full cast of characters, but if your characters die, they just sit out the rest of the story until you get to chapter 12, and then the real story starts. So they like introduce this one lord named Lynn, and you kind of learn about her and her plight and everything. And I don't know, Fire Emblem really gets you endeared to characters through like 2 lines of dialogue. I don't know how they do it, but their characters are really great. I would highly recommend starting here.
How far into the game did you get?
It's a couple hours, like 4 hours, 5. So when I play these, each chapter takes me about a half hour, typically, unless it's a really short chapter. Because normally I'm planning out my moves and I'm trying not to let anyone die because I really don't like it when my characters die. So I'm normally very careful. Also, I haven't played it in a long time, so I can't remember everything that happens. So it's not like I'm just like flying through it because I know what comes up next. So.
All right. Well, I'll get to Persona 3 Portable at some point.
I honestly might put it to rest because I'm not in the mood for Fire Emblem right now.
That's kind of one of the things too. I was like, yeah, last week I was in the mood. Nah, I'm not so much in the mood now.
Yeah, like with all this Gundam and Super Robot stuff I'm doing, I kind of just want to go back and play Xenogears. So I'm going to the beach this weekend, so I got it on my PSP. I might bring my PSP and play some Xenogears.
Look at you guys living up at the beach.
Oh yeah.
Don't get suntanned.
I will not.
He's just gonna get burned.
I meant to say sunburn.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I said suntan, and I'm like, you know
Don't-
what? That's
don't
what
say
you
it.
actually want. That's.
Stay pasty.
Oh god.
But yeah, next week you guys should play your games.
I think we're all just gonna play Xenogears at this point because I have it on my PSP. Actually, on my
Xenogears
PS
is
Vita.
so good. Honestly, I got to the second disc like back when I had it on PlayStation, and I like never got further than that. So I really want to beat it, even though I hear the ending kind of just ends.
Yo, that same thing happened to me. When the game first released, I got all the way up to the second disc, and I think I got close to like the last boss, and then I never beat it, and then I didn't come back to it until like 12 years later.
I just feel like it's a game I always like list as one of the best games ever, so I feel like I should beat it.
All right, so news releases and announcements. I don't know, with Joey's in and out voice there, should I lead this one?
If you want to, I mean, I'm here.
Are you really?
I don't know how well you guys can hear me though. It's also kind of a dud month, like not a great month. So if you want to go through this, that's fine.
Oh, so I get the crappy months.
Exactly.
All right, cool. But I mean, it's true though. With July, August, and I think kind of some of September, we hit the video game drought. You know, E3 is over. I think the next what's the next one in Japan?
Tokyo Game Show?
Yeah, Tokyo Game Show. Is that in September?
Sure.
Okay. So yes, we're in a drought period. So August 2nd, 1979 Revolution, Black Friday. I have no idea what this is. It says PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I'm assuming none of us are interested in this.
No, it's that Iranian Revolution game. It's out for like $20. So
you talked about this in the last podcast. It sounded
Right.
interesting, but although I don't have much time to play, so I will pass on this as well.
Sounded terrible.
August 3rd, WarioWare Gold on the 3DS. So I think they brought back
what is
WarioWare.
this?
So WarioWare came out on the DS, am I right? This was a DS game, or even earlier, right?
There's been a bunch of them. There's been like WarioWare on Game Boy Advance, DS, Wii. I think Wii U had a WarioWare game.
Yeah, so WarioWare is a bunch of like 1-minute games. It's almost like ADD in game form.
I honestly don't like them. They like freak me out. It's like
Really?
too fast-paced.
So what makes this gold?
Because it was, I think this was already a release that they re-released on the 3DS, or it's a new
It's
version.
something like that, or it's like a collection of the mini games, or I don't know, something.
Anyway, it's one of those weird games that Nintendo was like, yeah, we're gonna issue a new 3DS game, WarioWare, after the 3DS is already considered almost dead.
Yeah, gotcha.
August 7th, Dead Cells, which is a huge game that's dropping today. At least I think it placed number 1 on the eShop and just in pre-orders.
I kind of want that game.
It is a PS4, Switch, and Xbox One release. Switch is digital for now with a physical on the 21st. It is Metroidvania with a Dark Souls kind of twist.
I thought it was like roguelike too, isn't it? Isn't
Yeah.
it like it's like
Procedurally generated.
yeah. That sounds kind of cool.
I think there's an issue with some frame rate right now. At least that's what the boards are lighting up on, saying that the game's great, but frame rate drops.
So like when they say frame rate drops, does that mean it's like chugging down to like unplayable, or does that mean like
I think
it goes down to 20 sometimes? Because I never noticed that. I'm like, oh, it's fine.
I think it depends on who you talk to. If you're talking to like the 60 frame per second swear by those games, then sure, it's unplayable. But I think to the others that barely notice it, they say that it drops when you fight in combat, but otherwise it's still playable.
Honestly, if you're a real gamer, you can kind of like ride the lag. Just saying.
I agree. Overcooked 2 also came out on August 7th, which is today, the date of this recording. Overcooked 2 comes out on PS4, Switch, and Xbox One. I did not play Overcooked 1. I don't know if anyone's interested in this.
I hear it's a
Heard good
co-op.
things. Yeah, exactly.
Madden 19. I don't know why we're still doing Maddens, but we are. It's PS4 and Xbox One. There will be a Madden 20, and there will be a 21 and a 22 and 23, but yet I don't know who still buys these
Man.
things. August 9th.
Can't believe they snubbed the Switch on this one.
You cut out there, what'd you say?
I said I can't believe they snubbed the Switch on Madden 19.
Oh yeah, because we're so dying for a Madden, right?
You don't even like the Switch, Joey.
That's true.
Just put it in the ocean. Just
Just let it float away.
August 9th, PC actually gets Monster Hunter World. I don't know if this is crossplay between the other platforms, but this is pretty awesome.
So, I think today they put on there on Steam. Was it the Steamworks or whatever? The mod stuff. So
Yeah.
apparently it's going to be mod friendly. So I think people are excited about that.
Looking
Wow.
forward to
That's awesome.
the community costumes that come out. August 14th, we got Cosmic Star Heroine coming out on the Switch. This has already come out on the PS4. I don't think this came out by Xbox One. And the Vita had a release that came out as well. The physical was coming through LRG.
I kind of want this, but I feel like whenever I buy these like retro RPG indie games, I always get burned.
That said, it was the closest game to Chrono Trigger that's come out in a long time, so...
That doesn't- They said that about...
They say that about a lot of games, yes, I know.
What was that other game? The one in the snow.
Oh, I Am Setsuna?
Yeah, that was not Chrono Trigger.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's actually it for releases. There was a few random things on the 21st, I think, but nothing of actual value. In terms of news, this past weekend, which was... Let me just make sure I got my dates right, because I don't want to speak out of pocket here. August 3rd, 4th, and 5th was EVO, Evolution Series Fighting Game Tournament Championship. So EVO, I've talked about this last year, if anyone has listened from last year to this year, is a fighting game tournament that runs 3 days in Las Vegas. It is a tournament that includes the major fighting games as well as some other lesser known ones. So you've got Tekken, Blaze Blue, Street Fighter, no Marvel this year. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite did not make it into the mix. Dragon Ball Z Fighter, and Smash.
So, Joey, I'm thinking one year we should get Eric to go and play at EVO, and you and I can be his entourage. We'll just be there.
And we can train him. We can train him
That'd be
like in
amazing.
the Rocky movies.
Yeah, we'll just be there to
But what game? That's the question.
whatever you want.
So, if you guys are putting up for this, sure. I'll take the time to
Okay.
train with the Rocky montage and all. But Sunday was a good run through finals. They always show it's Las Vegas time, so I'm in the East Coast. It's about 3 hours difference. So starting at like 1 o'clock, I think, or 1 or 2 o'clock my time, they start the finals over in Las Vegas. So they started with Smash Brothers Melee, which is still played at a competitive level. And if you guys are familiar with Melee, we're talking the GameCube version of the game.
Yeah, the best Super Smash Brothers, by the way.
So what do they use to put, like, do they just display GameCube via like older TVs, or do they use modern TVs?
No, they actually use CRTs.
Oh, wow.
So in Las Vegas, in the Mandalay Bay Arena, they have a CRT on the stage with two guys sitting in front of it
That's funny.
while it's broadcasted. It's great, though. I mean, for the players, it's zero lag. It's as true to gameplay as it should be. I mean, if I was playing at that level trying to win thousands of dollars, I'm sure I'd want that on the way
Right.
it's meant to be played.
That's awesome.
I think it was followed by... Actually, I kind of blanked out after Smash Brothers. I think it was Tekken, then Blaze Blue, and then most of the day went by because I had to run errands, and then I came back to Dragon Ball Fighter at like 8 p.m. And then Super Street Fighter 5, actually not Super Street Fighter 5, just Street Fighter 5 was on at, it was close to like 11:30.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Blackwelts and I tried that BlazBlue cross tag battle game.
Yeah, that was played over at Evo as well. What'd you guys think of that?
Yeah, I suck at all fighting games. So
I crushed Joey.
exactly.
I crushed him. Like I perfected him.
As it should
No, no.
One round was a perfect.
What?
The shit
I
out
don't.
of Joey.
I don't remember that. I know you got
So-
perfected the next by that
I
challenger.
did. So like I was playing them, and like we're playing like in the arcade. So like I have no idea what I'm pressing. I'm just pressing buttons, and I like beat Joey pretty quickly twice in a row. And this guy behind me is like, I got a winner. And so he like comes up, and I'm like, all right, like I did pretty well against Joey. I was like, maybe I'll be able to hold my own against this guy. This guy like beat me in like 1 second, like 1 second.
He was good.
Done.
So the finals were pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know how much of our listeners or even anyone follows fighting games to the extent that I do, but it was worth the watch. I mean, Dragon Ball FighterZ, this was its first showing at Evo. Melee was its 7th year showing. Street Fighter V was its 3rd year showing. So you had a lot of returning players and the kind of hype that built up on the stage.
I thought everyone hates Street Fighter V.
There's a love-hate relationship with Street Fighter V. I mean, with every Street Fighter, albeit it being Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 3 or whatever the case, there's always this like following of people that have played the game before who hate the new game but still play it, and then you have the newcomers who start with that game, and then the cycle repeats where you have everyone who played Third Strike hated 4, then you had all the 09ers come in who played 4 and then don't like 5, and then you got the new people to 5 who love 5, and the game's good. I mean, it's not the greatest game. It's not the worst game. It's pretty good, and they've improved it with every iteration. I think they're on season 5 now, or 4. But it's like they've done with the other Street Fighter games too. You've got Super Street Fighter Ultra or Arcade Edition. It's okay. It's still playable.
I thought about getting it, but I don't like all the inputs I have to do moves on Street Fighter.
But
too
that's
much.
It's like easiest on Street
if
Fighter.
you think that's too much, Tekken, don't even play Tekken.
So like, I feel like I still have muscle memory from Tekken. I used to play a lot of Tekken Tag, and whenever I pick up Tekken, like there's certain characters that I can do all their moves still.
Then you shouldn't have an issue with Street Fighter.
Yeah, it's
but
just
I
like,
gotta, like,
forward
memorize the things.
button, forward
Okay.
button, quarter circle button, down up button.
Well, it's at least it's not like the anime fighting games where people talk about like the numerical keypad. They're like a forward 2B,
Oh god.
back
yeah.
back 1-3. I'm like, okay. Or well, actually, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move on past Evo. Everything is up on Twitch, so if you guys want to watch replays of everything, just go to the Evo channel on Twitch, or even the Capcom Pro Tour stuff to watch any of the Street Fighter V finals. I do have to say though, the winner of Street Fighter V was unexpected. At least it's this guy by the name of Problem X out of the UK, who won with Bison. And that means nothing to you guys. All right.
Yeah.
I was like, is that
I'm
like,
supposed to be
a big
shocked.
upset? Oh my God, Bison!
Bison.
Well, Bison
A
was
buffalo?
Not
considered,
Bison.
Bison was considered good in 5, but I don't know. Well, you're thinking of like the Japanese Street Fighter where Bison, Vega, and Balrog were all different people when they came to the US. So
Wait, they're not different people.
So in Japan, for the original Street Fighter, Balrog, who we know as Boxer, was actually Bison.
But Vega was Bison.
Yeah, and Vega was
Vega's
Bison.
the guy with the claw, right?
Exactly, but there was the names were all.
Dude, my world has been turned upside down.
Wait, so which
Vega
Bison
and
was
Are the
Bison?
same guy.
Anyway, yeah. So the names were all switched. So in the West, after a while, they pretty much just gave him names as Claw, Dictator, and Boxer. So it was easier to understand rather than saying Vega, Bison, and Balrog.
Because we're dumb Americans.
That's dumb.
All right. So we're skipping Evo. GameStop Elite Pro membership is getting axed. This is a new one to me. I think
That was
Joey,
like-
you found the news on this.
Yeah, this happened like a week ago. It's done already. You could have like the Elite Pro for GameStop is just kind of a better Elite membership, where you got 20% off of used video games, and you got like extra store credit for trading in games. And so they axed that because they said they were losing money, and of course they have no more competitors that are doing anything similar to this.
So this is like Gamers Club Unlocked all over again.
Yeah, so we had like 2 days to upgrade it more for future years if you wanted to.
You could do as many years as you want. You could be like, I will buy 20 years worth.
Exactly. Who knows? Who knows if how long they'll actually support people who did resubscribe, but yeah, it's gone now. So, what other options do we have?
Trade into Amazon, but I guess
No,
that doesn't really give much. I wouldn't do it.
they're like accepting a lot less on Amazon these days. I like looked up some games the other day, and it's just like I think they get too much and they shut things down.
Yeah, I tried to trade stuff the other day too, and like nothing.
Their prices are horrendous, though.
Not always. I've gotten lucky with them.
Okay, maybe I'm trading in something relatively new and popular still, but for me, some of the things that I bought as collector's editions, they're like, "We'll give you $5." I'm like, "No, thank you."
I traded in like 8 games once and made like $200, so I felt like that was pretty alright.
What's the math on that?
Like
$25 a game? It's not bad, I
No.
guess.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit less.
All right, well, no news is good news at this point. We're just gonna have to wait for Tokyo Game Show and anything else to come out within the next few weeks. If you're still listening at this point, and today you own a Switch and you are a fan of Valkyria Chronicles, the demo has dropped very silently.
What? It dropped?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a 4 gigabyte demo.
Damn.
Go download it.
Sweet, I'm gonna download that tonight.
I downloaded it on my Switch, and cool thing is, if you finish the demo, save data transfers to the full game as well as a special costume unlock.
Oh, nice.
So go do that.
I'm gonna
So
do
is this a standalone story, or am I gonna want to have played everything else?
It's considered a standalone story, but it's also very similar both in story and gameplay to the first game.
Like, have you seen all their marketing for it recently? They're like, this is a great place to start. So I think they're like viewing it as like a comeback.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Although I'm still mad we didn't get Valkyria Chronicles 3 in the West.
That's okay. We have it.
Yes, we do, but not officially.
We have it.
All right.
I'm getting that big old tank.
I know you are, and I'm
It's like
very
paper,
conflicted
isn't
on
it?
whether I want this tank or not.
Okay, all the other pre-order incentives are stupid. It's
A
like
sticker?
some dumb dog thing, and like the sticker. Yeah, no, the tank is awesome.
But that's not a pre-order incentive. That's a full-on, like, I gotta spend $100 for a tank.
Yeah, but I mean, fine.
You gotta support the
It's just
developer,
what-
man.
I'll send you photos.
To buy the tank or not to buy the tank.
It's gonna sit next to all my Gundams that I'm building.
I've got no space for it. I'm gonna have to, like, put this tank at work or something.
Yeah, you know.
My daughter's gonna want to play with it. She's gonna be like, ooh.
My daughter asked if she can play with my Gundams now because I've displayed some of them, and she was like, "Can I play with those toys?" And I was like, "Those aren't playing toys.
Aw,
Those are
come
just
on,
looking at
let her
toys."
play with the HGs.
No, what's funny is
No,
that I finished the gun cannon, or at least I was almost done. I was putting on the arms, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna help you," and she starts grabbing. I'm like, "No!"
You're like, "Ah, what are you doing?"
It felt like it was 40-year-old virgin. These are not toys. These are collectibles.
Oh, you nerds.
God, shut up. All right, I think this is where we outro ourselves, as we've had a good hour run with everyone here. So with that, you could find us on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play, and we're also online at geekenvy.podbean.com. We're also on Instagram at geekenvy.com. Again, if you are listening and you want to get a copy of The Watchmen, or at least be put into our drawing of about maybe 5 people, hit us up on Instagram.
Just at Geek Envy.
At geekenvy. Not geekenvy.com. Nope. We don't have a .com yet.
Yeah,
we don't have a
at,
.com
at
yet.
Geek Envy. Yep.
At Geek Envy. And we also wish that someone would just talk to us already. Send us some comments, suggestions, questions, anything at askgeekenvy@gmail.com, or even just hit us up on Instagram. So with that, we will see you guys again in 2 weeks. Good night.